Hello everyone, Johnny Mine here, and today we are continuing learning hiragana and the basics of Japanese by playing Super Mario Bros. Most likely today we'll finish since we have one word left, even though there are still several hiragana to study, and so we'll tackle more of them for each level we finish. And depending on how much time is left, we might start also learning katakana by playing Super Mario Bros. 2, but we'll see it then later. So let's start. Super Mario Bros. Let's load our save. Word 81. Word that I know quite well since I used to skip to it by using the word stones. Okay. Hopefully this part is never... Okay. Let's proceed. Be careful. And of course we die then. Slowly but surely. In this case. Okay. Oops. Okay. Okay. And even the top of the flag. Good. Okay. Okay. Let's move to our hiragana, starting with ya, but we are actually moving on to the next page because this is a small form of the first hiragana we are seeing, the first of the yagyo, ya. So yes, then we'll see that we'll come back to this. Okay, let's start with regular size ya. First, left to right with the curve, and then starting from top to bottom by following the curves and the slanted. Left to right with the curve, top to bottom with the slanted. But this isn't as usual the most common way to write it, because there's a much simpler one, which is the one you'll see more often, and it's this one. Again, the first stroke left to right top with the curve. Then the second stroke is this comma here, like the start in the other form. And then top to bottom, the slanted stroke. Yeah, as we have seen before, it can also be written smaller. And this way, it can be combined with the hiragana the hiragana combinations of consonant plus E to have the sounds so-called yon. As you can see here, literally crooked sound. Simply means that we have those the palatalized initials combined with the ya-yu-yo sounds. So kya, kya-kyu-kyo, sha-shu-sho, cha-chu-cho, nya-nyu-nyo, hya-hyu-hyo, mya-myu-myo. And then we'll see later also rya-ryu-ryo. But of course, there are also the Dakuten syllables with I. And so, gyagyu-gyo, jajujo. Technically, also jajujo with the other one, but usually you don't see it with the ji, as in da, ji, zu, de, do. Usually you see it written as ja like this, with za, ji, zu, ze, zo. And of course, pia, biu, bio. And then also with the handakuten, pia, piu, pio. Let's see the other ya sounds, the other hiragana of the ya column. Oops. Before moving to U, as we have seen in the combinations. This is the small one. Okay. We start here, top to bottom, then the circle goes up and then down. Top to bottom, all the curves, circles, and then down. But again, this isn't the most common way to write it. Let's ignore this obsolete form. Luckily, in modern Japanese, we don't use them anymore. Let's see the stroke order. Yeah, this is the most common way to write it. Top to bottom. Then we follow the curve. And then the second stroke is separated top to bottom like this. Much easier. So U, and also the combinations I've already mentioned, Q, Shu, Ju, and so on. So we can see Yo. This is the small one, again for the combinations, Kyosho, and so on. Let's see how you write it. Okay, it's down there. We start here, left to right, and then top to bottom with the circle, and we end here. Left to right, top to bottom with the circle, we end here. As you can see here, also with the arrows, left to right, top to bottom with the circle. Okay, let's see. Okay, everything is going well. Let's see some words. Let's see with ya, for example. Where oops, let's make it bigger again. So we can see also the accent. Accented word, so high and false. Ya, arrow. Then there are other words, but We'll see them another time when they come up. You. Accented also. So high and then false. Hot water. Hot water specifically because water in general and also cold water use the word mizu. Let's show it. Mizu, unaccented. Water, especially cool or cold. And then, of course, also various extended meanings. Don't mind the additional reading here for now. You. Let's see a word for yo. Can be written with more kanji. Word, as in the sense also of society, public, life, lifetime, age, era, and so on. But we'll see it more in detail when it comes up. What I wanted to show even more is this particle, yo, particle that you can find at the end of the sentence usually. And it indicates certainty, emphasis, contempt, request, warning, and so on. Like, hey, you. Also, you know, and so on. Okay. Let's see now some words with the yo on. Let's see what we can find for, well, for example, kyaku. Also kaku, but usually kyaku, guest, visitor, and also in the sense of customer, client. You might have already heard it in anime and so on, as the form with the prefix o, okyaku, and also with the sama at the end, okyaku-sama. But we'll see those more in detail when the time comes. Let's see also another example with ja. Can be written both as ja long with a long a, but even more, especially when it's at the start of a sentence, then, well, so, well then. And as it says here, it's from dewa. We'll see that in a moment. Let's move to that. Also for by then, but usually with other combinations. This is quite an important form, both in this original form and also the shortened one, ja, even more common, because if you want to have the negative copula, you have to pass from dewa and then add nai. So in the plain speech, we'll see that you have to add something else in the polite speech, but the time will come for that at a later point. So we have dewanai, janai. Okay. Let's see also something with, for example, cha. An example for cha, unaccented. And it means tea, also the tea plant. More often than not, tea as in green tea, the most common one in Japan. We also have the color, but we won't see it now, because we don't have the hiragana for that. Let's see also, well, nya. Not this one, but the longer one, nya. An onomatopoeia for meow. So written with either the long vowel mark, which we'll see is used mainly in katakana writing. So you might find it also with an a instead, since nya is the meow. Let's see also hyaku, which means 100, 100. We can add a number before it to make 200, 300, and so on, like in English. Then we have in this case, it's not as easy to find easy words. Let's see by adding, as usual, the way to find. Nope. Let's leave it alone. Yeah, some of these sounds aren't as common, but other ones are, and so you have to keep them in mind that these combinations are possible, and also in the case that they show up. So let's see, for example, myaku, accented on the last one, pulse, vein, and other extended meanings. And so, yeah, we have seen some words with these, both for the yagyo and the yo-on combinations. And so we can go back to Super Mario Bros. Word A2. Okay. Oops. Oh boy. Yeah, not... almost did something. Let's go back like this. Yeah, no. Better to restart from here. And let the paratroopa go over. Yeah, this wasn't... this was exclusively my bad. Let's get rid of the Akitu, at least for now. There's a mushroom there, but I'm not sure if we'll be able to get it. Okay, maybe yes, if I don't die like that. The let's wait for the mushroom. I know. Left it go off screen, and so most likely it despawned. Not like this. Okay. The jump. Oh boy. To avoid one obstacle, got hit by the other one. Oops. Okay. We avoid all these enemies. Oh boy. Paratroopers and stairs are always the worst combination. Okay. Let's make the jump. Okay. Stop here and go back to our hiragana. We start the ragyo with ra. This is these are the sounds with the consonant r. More often than not, it's like the r in Spanish when it's not written with two r's. Ra, ri, lu, re, ro. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not the found in English, but it's a flap in the position you quickly move and take back the tongue from the position of the, ra. It's written from top to bottom, like this comma, then we go here, top to bottom, and then the curve. Bottom, we go here, top to bottom, and the curve. This isn't the most common way to write it. The most common one is this. So the first, not a single stroke, but a comma on top, and then the second stroke, the rest, top to bottom, and the curve. Let's see also. Ri. Again, as we can see here, it's actually palatalized, because as usual, when a consonant is followed by E, Ri from the top, then we go back on top here, and the curve. Here, and the curve, top to bottom. But again, not the most common way to write it. This is the most common and easiest one. Two separate strokes, top to bottom, with this little serif, and top to bottom here. Okay. Let's say we can stop here for now. Let's see some. Also because since this is the ri, you can also have the combinations with ya-you-yo written small for the yo-on sound, yo-on syllables. Ria-ru-ryo. And these ones are much more common than some of the ones we have seen at the end of the previous section. So let's see what words we can find with ra. This is, let's avoid it for now, or not. Well, for example, let's see this word, raigetsu, accented on the first one, high and then the rest low. As usual, the rule, the first one is high, then the second one is low, and if the first one is low, then the second one is high. Raigetsu, which means next month, literally coming month, because the first verb, the first kanji is the verb to come, while the second one is the one for moon, and so also month. Let's see with ri. Ri, accented, means advantage, benefit, profit, interest. I'd say advantage is the best fundamental translation, meaning. And any quite common word also, ri, also accented. Reason, principle, logic. We'll see those also in compounds. Then we have other ones, but let's stop at those. Let's see some rya-ryu-ryo combinations. Rya, for example, with ku, ryaku. Ryaku. Of course, it could also be, since it ends with u and there's a unvoiced consonant, you could also hear it with the u barely pronounced or not pronounced at all, and then the accent moves to the preceding syllable, so as ryak. But in this case, the rule would be that it's ryaku. And yes, it's the most common use is as a suffix for abbreviation, omission. Let's see for ryu. You might have already heard this one. Also in the name of the video game series Yakuza, like or better, like a dragon, which in Japanese is Ryu ga Gotoku. Gagotoku, like, and a dragon is the word that we are studying now. Ryu. Never mind the other readings. The most common one is Ryu. And yes, it means dragon, especially Chinese dragon. Let's see with Ryo. Not this one. Not even this one. For example, let's see this compound. Ryoko. As a reminder, we have the usual combination O-U. So actually, long O, Ryoko, unaccented. And it's the noun for travel, trip, journey, excursion, tour. So travel is the fundamental meaning. Okay. We can stop here for now and go back to Super Mario Bros. Word 8.3. Oh boy. Yeah, now we're seeing the difficulty again with the Hammer Bros. Always a menace in these Mario games. The first Mario games. Oops. Okay. Again, this time we can not like not this way. Not even this way. Let's do it like this. Okay. Barely avoided the plant thanks to hitboxes. Yeah, this... let's move back because the Hammer Bros... yeah, we definitely want to use the Koopa Shell. Oh boy, we missed it. Let's see if we can make it. Nope. So let's move back here. Yeah, I've seen that with the Piranha Plant hitboxes when I played on my own the NES Championship, when you wanted to speedrun, more often than not you wanted to make those jumps. Okay. Oof. We avoided all those Hammer Bros. Let's do the jump. And so even World 8-3 is done. Let's pause. Go back to our hiragana. Ru. Again, bottom. Left to right, actually. Then top to bottom with the slanted, the curve, and the circle at the end. Left to right, slanted, top to bottom, the curve, and the circle. It's a single stroke, and you go like that from top to bottom, following as shown by the arrows and as I've just explained. Ru. Then we have Re. As you might recall, it's similar to Ne, so not the same, of course, but keep it in mind that you might confuse them at first. So, top to... okay, sorry. So, top to bottom, left to right, slanted, the curve and the curve here, top to bottom, left to right, slanted, the curve and the curve. As you can see also here. Re. And then we have Ro. Identical to Ru, except for the circle at the end. So pay attention to it. Left to right, slanted, and the curve. Left to right, slanted, and the curve. Again, a single stroke. Okay, now we have seen also this. We can see some words with these syllables. With Ru, as we have seen, for example, the word before, when I mentioned that kanji was the kanji for the verb to come, we can see the word, the verb itself on its own is kuru. Accented, so on the first one, actually the second to last one when it comes to verbs, to come, and of course also extended meanings. Unfortunately, it's one of the two irregular Japanese verbs. We'll see in what way when the time comes. The other irregular verb is suru, unaccented, suru, to do, and several other meanings, but the fundamental one is to do. Then we have, for example, the verb miru, accented, to see. And these are the so-called either ichidan verbs, or also known as ru verbs. Ichidan because their conjugation is based only on one dan in the sense of what I'm pretty sure I mentioned before. We have seen the hiragana gyo, aiueo, kakikukeko, and so on. But each vowel is a dan. So in this case, it's all based on the I vowel, the idan. One, ichi means one in Japanese. And also ru verb because it ends in ru, or to be precise, in I ru. There's an I before ru. There are some exceptions of verbs that belong to the other regular class of Japanese verbs, but most verbs that end in I ru or e ru are ichidan ru verbs. An example of a verb of the eru kind, eru. Never mind that other form, the other reading. Eru, accented. To get, to earn, to acquire, and so on. So to get in the sense of to earn, to acquire. And yes, as we have seen other verbs before. For example, we have seen the verb au, previous lessons. Au, to meet. This one is a godan verb or u verb. Godan because it uses all vowels for its conjugation, aiu e o, instead of just one, either I or e. And u verb because they end in u. Again, there are some exceptions that actually end in ru, but we'll learn them as we encounter them, funny enough, considering the meaning of this verb. So yes, just to start seeing the kind of verbs, and because we finally have learned the necessary ending for most of them, as we have seen with ru, with the syllable ru. So we can also see this word instead for re. Again, e written as re e I, and so more often than not long e. Re, accented on the first one. So high-low, re. And means thanks, gratitude, manners, more often than not, etiquette. And yes, these are, of course, other meanings. Then we also have other words. Let's only see this one. Re is the Japanese pronunciation for 0. You can find it, but they also use zero from Japanese, from the English word, but with Japanese pronunciation, zero. Okay. Also written just as a circle, other than the kanji and the usual numeral. Okay, let's see something with ro. In this case, it's not as easy. Let's see this one. Roku. Never mind the other readings. In this case, for now, Roku, accented on the last one. Again, could also be pronounced with barely the U, if not at all, and so rock. And means 6 is the number 6. We'll see numbers fully when the time comes for them. Just wanted to introduce some words with these syllables as usual. Okay. We can go back to Super Mario Bros. Word 8-4, the final word in the game. Okay. I'm pretty sure there's a specific path that we'll have to follow. Yeah, this might be the start of it, because nope, this is part of the loop, I think, because we keep on seeing those Goombas. Oops. And now this platform above the lava needs some running. Okay. Okay, this one is the correct pipe, I'm pretty sure. Yes. Okay. Yeah, no, please, no. Let's not die to an easy paratroopa in this case. Okay, I'm pretty sure that we have to go up there. Don't remember. I hope there's a hidden block, because, yeah, seemed a little too much for this game to have to jump on the paratroopas, and also it's not exactly like later Mario games, so not sure it could even work. This one was not the correct one. Nope. Let's go back. Okay. Let's avoid that pipe. It's this one, I think. Yes. The underwater section. Yeah, even though I've never beaten it myself, I've clearly... Well, I have beaten it in the NES Championship game. I guess not the full game on its own. Back then, when I had it. But now we're doing it. Doesn't matter if with save states, because again, what matters is that we keep on going and finish both the game and the hiragana. This is the ending. Okay. And so we are done with Super Mario Bros. Can actually... well, let's keep it here, just in case for now. Let's go back to hiragana. Okay, let's move on. Never mind this because it's not used in modern Japanese. It's a small wa. We need the big one, which is used wa. As usual, hiragana similar to re, ne, except for the ending part. Top to bottom, left to right, the slanted, and then the curve. Top to bottom, slanted, and then the curve. As you can see also here, in a simpler way. As you can see also according to the arrows, top to bottom, and then left to right, slanted, and curve. Then we have, well, we'll quickly see them, but these are only used in modern Japanese when in stylized writing. Would be we, but it's not actually used. Written this way, left to right, slanted, curve, and the circle. You can see also here. We have we, same, not usually used in modern Japanese, only for stylistic purposes. Left to right, top to bottom, slant, the curve, the circle, so like a ru, and then it continues down, slanted, and the curves. Yeah, it's a single stroke, but a really long one. Actually, it's usually not used. What is used, on the other hand, is o, technically wo, and you might still hear it as seen here. Also, the pronunciation given here is more of a v, the b, v in Spanish, but honestly also wo, as in a w. But yes, more often than not, it's pronounced simply as o, but also as a wo, except in when in careful speech or when singing. It's written like this, left to right, top to bottom slanted, the curve, and then top to bottom with this curve. Left to right, top to bottom slanted, the curve, and top to bottom with the curve. As you can see also here, 3 strokes. First one left to right, top to bottom with the curve, second one, and last one, top to bottom with the curve. And last but not least, we have the only consonant that can stay on its own. N. And it actually has several readings according to what follows. We quickly see them. Actual, our usual N before D, N, L, C, Z, so most consonants. M before M, P, and B, because of assimilation. We see it also in other languages, also English, even though there it's usually written as such. Ng, as in the one for sing before k, g, same because of assimilation. Ny, the one we've seen in niwa, before ni, unsurprisingly, and also ch and z, because they're also palatalized. N. And then never mind this particular symbol for now. It's technically an N in the back of the mouth, but you can go for a simple N for now. You should be fine. And then this one, technically a nasal a nasal vowel with similar to but not exactly. It's and that comes before vowels, approximants, that is Y and Y, W and Y, fricatives, H, F, S, Sh, also often causing nasalization of the preceding vowel. But yes, this one isn't easy. You can do it as a separate N, like at the end of utterances to start, but you'll definitely notice that Japanese actually pronounce it in a different manner. For example, in Case Closed, Detective Conan, Meitantei Conan, the protagonist is called Shin Ichi, Ichi, and yeah, you can hear it pronounced as Shinichi. So not with an actual N, but with this But of course, you'll get used to it at least when you hear it. The more you hear it, we'll definitely see it when playing games that have voices. Luckily, when it comes to how it's written, it's quite easy. We start at the top, slanted, and then the curves. Top, slanted, and then the curves. A single stroke, and quite easy, because as you can follow also with the arrows. Let's see some words with these syllables. Wa, for example, accented, high with the fall of the pitch. Ring, circle, circle, loop. And also, don't mind this one, you might have seen it somewhere as especially as a more than the sum, as a harmony piece, and the prefix for Japan. But what interests us is that it can be also a final sentence final particle, usually a female term to indicate emotion or admiration, and then there are also uses of it in dialects, but those don't interest us for now. So yes, there are some particles that are, and some words and so on that are dedicated to, that are gendered. Okay, let's see with O. This is quite an important one. It's the particle that indicates the direct object of an action. So if you do, as we have seen with suru, something, that something takes the particle O. And then also other meanings, for example, also an area traversed, but the fundamental one is the direct object of an action. In this case of the example phrase, not to disturb my optimism, and my optimism is the object, takes the O particle and then the verb. Because as we'll see, a small introduction, the order of the word order in Japanese, the typical word order is subject, more often than not. Also, the theme of the topic of the sentence with wa. The object marked with o, and then the verb. So subject, object, verb, unlike English and several Spanish, Italian, which have a subject, verb, object order. And then for n, we can find a word with n at the start. The one that I wanted to show is un, high, low, which is a more casual way to say yes, yeah, and also written with two we can find it with added an n, but in this case it's low, high, because it's actually unaccented, with a long, usually a long u. It's a more casual way to say no. Yes or no. Okay. I'd say we can stop here for now. And since we have finished Super Mario Bros., now we can actually close it. I'll actually end the stream here, but don't leave, because after 5 or at most 10 minutes, we'll be back with a new stream, which I have to create now. That's why I might need a little more. Also, I'm taking a short break in the meanwhile. So yes, I'll start a new stream where we'll play Super Mario Bros. 2 as in the Lost Levels, and learn katakana, start learning katakana while doing so. Okay, see you in 5-10 minutes.